Welcome, everyone. It's week 13. 2 weeks left in the regular season. And welcome. With another week down in the books, again, 2 weeks to go. The standings haven't really changed much in terms of placement. The Quailmen are still at the top of the Central. The Trolls did overtake the Tiger Sharks. And the Dumpster Fire have moved all the way up into a playoff spot as of now. As you can see, it does say that the Philadelphia Smeagol's have clinched, but they haven't really. Not mathematically speaking, they haven't actually clinched. They clinch based on what is going to happen. I mean, unless the Smeagol's literally sit all of their players the next 2 weeks, and Mandy and Hunter both win out, then they could miss the playoffs. You know what I mean? So the Smeagol's have scored so many points that they're just not going to get overtaken. Like, unless something fucking crazy happens. But basically, the Smeagol's have clinched a playoff spot. They have not clinched the East yet. Again, because they're only a few points ahead of the Dumpster Fire. The Heaters cannot win the East anymore, but they still have a chance at that last playoff spot. The Voyagers have not clinched yet, even though, again, it's kind of the same thing with the Smeagol's. There are still a lot of scenarios where the Voyagers could miss out. I have to lose both games, and then, the Room Dogs have to win out, and the Heaters have to, win, and all kinds of crazy stuff has to happen. It also says the Bunny Bangers have been eliminated. Again, same thing with the Smeagol's. They haven't mathematically been eliminated yet, but since the Bunny Bangers are, again, 2 games back in the Central, and they've scored the least amount of points in the league, they are so far behind everybody that the only way that they could have won the Central or gone into the playoffs was to win the Central, and they lost last week. So they're basically done, again, unless, the most craziness of stuff happens, but it's just not going to happen, unless the Bunny Bangers score 200 points the next 2 games. You know what I mean? So basically, the Bunny Bangers are fucking out, and the Smeagol's are in. The Voyagers are basically in again. So really, it's that 6th seed over there, 5 or 6, depending on what happens with the Voyagers. But that last seed over there in the East, who is going to take it? Again, 2 teams from the Central can still make it. They still can. But again, the Bunny Bangers are going to have to do some work and help some people out for that to happen. But, I don't know. And the Voyagers can still win the West if the Wise Guys win their next 2 games and the Voyagers win their next 2 games. Then the Voyagers, assuming they would still have the points for, would take the West. But again, probably not going to happen, but you never know. So let's get into the power rankings. Power rankings. Coming in at number 12, you got the worst team in the league. Now that they're finally out of the playoffs, I can put them down here where they belong. You got the Wisconsin Bunny Bangers. Worst team in the league, no question. They have barely put up any points. They struggle to even put up over 100 on a weekly basis. This is a straight up bad team. That expansion draft, they basically fucked up. Well, honestly, the Bunny Bangers and the Trolls kind of both fucked up. None of them picked Jonathan Taylor until I think the 6th round of that draft. So 10 other players went before Jonathan Taylor in that expansion draft. And they took Tunyon. So I think that was the killer for the Bunny Bangers there. If they'd have taken Jonathan Taylor, maybe they'd be a little bit better, especially way more competitive in the Central. But here they are. Hopefully they can have a good draft. And we'll see them next year. Coming in at number 11, moving up 1 spot, we got the Washington Wise Guys. Again, worst record in the league. Not the worst team, though. Just the most unlucky team in the league by far. I've done some numbers and stuff. I got a little setup here, and there's a way that I can look at what if this team had this other team's schedule, and what would their record be? There are only two teams in the whole league where if they had anyone else's schedule, their record would be better. Those two teams are the Vietnam Voyagers and the Washington Wise Guys. But the difference between the Voyagers would have maybe 1, 2, or up to 3 more wins with anyone else's schedule. The Wise Guys would have, they could be 8-4 if they had the Rune Dog schedule, but they're 2-10. That's how unlucky the Wise Guys have been this season. But again, should have drafted better. Coming in at number 10, the aforementioned and current champ, Long Island Rune Dogs. Again, we've been over this before. This team is just, they're still in the playoff hunt, but damn, I mean, they need a miracle, and they need other teams to just choke. I mean, their whole team is injured. Even if they make it into the playoffs, they're probably not going to go far. They're probably going to be one and done. So, Mandy, I hope you are holding that belt tight and sleeping with it every night, because before long, it's not going to be yours anymore. Coming in at number 9, we got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. They do not control their own destiny anymore since they lost very badly last week. Their team choked. I mean, they lost to the Quailmen by 63 points. Only put up 80 in the process. Even if Rico had started his best possible lineup, he still would have got blown out by like 25. So this team is still in the playoff hunt, not over yet, and they do have some favorable matchups coming up over the next 2 weeks. So there is a sneaky chance for the Tiger Sharks to sneak into the playoffs. So we'll see what they can do. But as of now, they're on the outside looking in. Coming in at number 8, we got the Hickory Grove Heaters. What a tale for this team. They started out 3-0. 3-0 and 4-1. 4-1. Since they've gone 4-1, they've gone 1-6 over their last 7 games. And the only win, I think, coming against the Bunny Bangers. So, it looks like they should be getting Kyler Murray back this week, but it's now or never for the Heaters. The Heaters have got to win out, basically, to have a chance at the playoffs. There's no way they're going to get in with only 6 wins. It's just not happening. So the Heaters have to win out, and they need a little bit of help from some other teams. But for all these statistics and stuff, there's so many different scenarios that could happen. So I'm going to wait until next week to kind of show where everyone stands with, playoff odds and all of that kind of stuff, because there's just way too many variables right now to even list. I could talk about it for an hour, okay? And I'm not trying to do that to you guys, all right? So that'll be next week. I'll talk about all that stuff. But just know that the Heaters are still in it, but they're a long way from it. Coming in at number 7, dropping down 1 spot, you got the Trentham Trolls. This team has been a little hot and cold recently. They did get the win last week over the Bunny Bangers, but the quarterback situation, Dak is not looking too hot. And even with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the game that he blew up, they lost. So it's kind of it's a very, very weird team. They are still in a very good spot. They still basically, I think, control their destiny, since they do play the best 2 teams in the Central the next 2 weeks. So if the Trolls win out, I'm pretty sure they should win, unless the Quailmen win as well. And then it comes down to point differential, which the Trolls have. So if the Trolls win out, they have a very, very good chance of going to the playoffs. But if they lose another game, I don't think they're going to be there. Coming in at number 6, top 6, crazy. This team has probably been the most up and down team of the year. You got the Columbia Dumpster Fire. Whoa. Who the hell thought they'd be even in playoff contention at this point after their rocky start? But they got a big win over the Rune Dogs last week by 23 points. Last week was a weird week, man. We had a lot of people barely put up over 100, and a lot of people didn't put up 100. 3 people put up less than 100, and a couple others put up under 105. So it was a very strange week last week for points. But Dumpster Fire are back in the hunt. They control their own destiny now. So if they can get, I think, even just one win, just one, I think they have punched their ticket to the playoffs, depending on point differential and, again, whatever else happens. Coming in at number 5, the top 5 hasn't changed that much. Coming in at number 5, we got the French Quarter Quailmen. Holy shit, what a team! These guys, they have won 5 of their last 6, I think, and coming together. This team is coming together, and they are getting hot at the right time. This feels very reminiscent of what the Room Dogs did last year. So this team could be a little bit dangerous come playoff time if they hold that spot. They have to win. They need to win at least one more game to have a chance. If they lose out, they're Dunskies. But if they win out, they're in. 100%. Next up, number 4. You got the Philadelphia Smeagol's, currently leading the East right now. Looking solid. They got a big win over the Heaters last week, put up 150 in the process. And this team's starting to get hot at the right time as well. So, Smeagol's, man, they've tasted that gold before. They've worn it around their waist, around their shoulder, whatever. They want it again. Coming in at number 3, dropping down a spot, you got the Vietnam Voyagers. Team has been on a roll recently, got 2 straight wins. All I got to do is win 2 more and maybe take the West. Probably not going to happen, but I have a 99% chance to make the playoffs. Again, basically, I'm pretty much in unless I lose and other shitty teams blow out other people. But we'll see what happens. Coming in at number 2, they have switched. Coming in at number 2, you got the SC Titans Elite. Joe, dropping down one spot, took a loss last week, and basically what some would call the game of the week to E-Man and the Finesse, and only put up 100. Again, this team ride or dies with them Bucks, but the Bucks have Atlanta, and they also got the Wise Guys, who is an Atlanta transplant. So this is a little bit of bad blood this week. I think the Titans may be looking to put up a lot of points. But as a Voyagers fan, I am rooting for the Wise Guys. And coming in at number 1, you guys know who it is. He won last week, took that crown back over. I've been taking him off the top and putting it back up and taking him off and putting it back up, but he's there. You got the LA Finesse. Just too good right now. 9-3. Statement win to take back the West. They now control their own destiny for the West. If they can win this week, then they've basically locked up the West, even if they lose next week. Because if they beat the Voyagers this week and the Titans Elite win or lose or whatever, the Titans aren't going to be able to catch them in points, I don't think. It's just not going to happen. So really, the Finesse just got to win a game. Well, unless the Titans win out, right? But I mean, again, Finesse, again, they control their own destiny now. They're in the number 1 spot. Yada yada yada. Let's get on to the matchups, guys. I got some new pictures and some new songs. I hope you like them. Let's get to the worst game of the week. We got the 6-6 Long Island Room Dogs taking on the 8-4 top of the East Philadelphia Smeagol's. And this game is extremely important for everyone in the East. I mean, really, all the games are important now, last 2 weeks of the season, but Room Dogs have to win. They have to win out, basically. Their team is just not good enough to sustain anything. The Smeagol's are fine. The Smeagol's can take a loss, but they don't want to take 2. So if the Smeagol's win this game, they have clinched the East and probably a first-round bye. So big game here in the East. As of now, the Smeagol's are actually, it says they're going to lose, but the Room Dogs are on a 3-game losing streak. I just don't see it happening, but you never know. Matchup number 2. We got the 4-8 Wisconsin Bunny Bangers taking on the 5-7 and desperate Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Tiger Sharks smell blood in the water. They want these little rabbits for food. It's probably going to happen because these Bunny Bangers, they're out of the playoffs. They look like ass. And as of now, this team, they should get the win. It says as of now, the Bunny Bangers should win by about 5 points. Both teams coming off of losses. But Tiger Sharks, they have been known to put up a lot of points at random and sometimes important times. But last week was important and they shit the fucking bed. So if whoever gets over 100 in this game is going to win. Probably. Matchup number 3. You got the 6-6 Columbia Dumpster Fire taking on their nearest rivals, the 5-7 Hickory Grove Heaters. Both of these teams are in the same state. Both of them have similar names. Both of them have to do with some kind of shit with fire in the fucking woods. But whatever. Big game. If the Dumpster Fire lose, they lose that spot in the East to either the Room Dogs or the Hickory Grove Heaters, who I think have the point differential on the Dumpster Fire. If Matt wins, again, he does that. He takes it. He takes it over, and he probably takes over Mandy as well. But if the Dumpster Fire can win, that basically puts the Heaters pretty much out. I don't see the Heaters making it at 6-8. There is a possibility, but it's a really, really, really small chance that that's actually going to happen here. Their best chance, again, is getting that 6th seed. So, big game for the Heaters. They have to win out, or they are out. Dumpster Fire, if they win out, they're in, basically. So, both of these teams kind of control their own destiny in a sort of way. Because if the Heaters finish 7-7, there's a very small chance that they don't make it, unless someone in the Central scores a lot of points and overtakes them or whatever, and it's also 7-7. That which could happen. I don't see it, but it could happen. But both of these teams kind of control their destiny, and this is basically a playoff game for both of these squads. Matchup number 4. You got the 9-3 SC Titans Elite flying a little bit up to Seattle, Grunge City, to play the 2-10 Washington Wise Guys. And man, there's some bad blood here. A lot of shit's been talked between these two teams over the years. We've all seen it, heard it, lived it, smelled it, all that shit. It all comes down here. If the Wise Guys can pull off this upset, it basically seals the deal for E-Man and opens the door for the Voyagers to take over the West. If the Titans Elite win, it just puts the pressure right back on the Finesse to get a win this week and especially next week over the Wise Guys. So again, big important game right here. But as of now, you know, the predictions were made that the Wise Guys would win. Both teams are still sitting at 0 as of now. The Titans Elite should win by 10, according to Sleeper. So we'll see what happens. Let's get on to the rivalry game of the week. You got the 6-6 French Quarter Quailmen taking on the 5-7 Trenum Trolls, who took a loss last week. And again, this is a big time matchup. The Trolls have already put up 21 points, but it still looks like the Quailmen should take it. You know, Dak has just not been showing up lately. I don't know. Trolls got to win. Trolls lose, they still have a chance, but it's a damn small one. So Trolls really, really need this win. They still, their best shot, again, is to win the East. If they don't, they have a 0.03% chance to take the 6th seed. So again, if they don't win the Central, they're probably not going to get in it. Game of the week! You got the 7-5 Vietnam Voyagers. Woo! Taking on, flying out, to LAX to play the LA Finesse at 9-3. This is a huge game, huge matchup. As of now, it's looking like it's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. The Finesse have already put up 16.5 points from CeeDee Lamb. Damn. Call him CD Damn from now on. He had 7 catches, 89 yards. I mean, that's not bad. He had 1 carry for 33 yards. That's what I'm talking about. So CeeDee Lamb doing some good work on Thursday for the Finesse. As of now, the game is literally 50-50. 50-50. A lot of important guys are out for the Voyagers. Dalvin Cook is out for the next 2 weeks at least. Darren Waller is out this week. And then Eric Kendricks just got injured during practice this week, bicep injury, so he is out. And it looked like TJ Watt had COVID, but then they cleared him. And it looked like Freiermuth was in the concussion protocol, but they cleared him as well. So they're going to start. And it looks like, I'm getting word, yeah, it looks like they're going to start Mooney over Nuke Hopkins tonight. Hopkins, they're saying it's going to start, but it's going to be in limited capacity, while Mooney has been just killing it lately. So we'll see what happens in the game of the week. Stay tuned. On to the predictions. Woo. Woo. Predictions are great. But first, we have to acknowledge something. Last week, Hunter made the predictions hungover from his car before eating Thanksgiving supper, lunch. What do we call it? Thanksgiving dinner at noon? It's weird, right? Anyways, before Turkey Day, Hunter called 5 correct games. He went 5-1. And we all know what that means. That's a new record. 5-1, Hunter taking it over. And he brought us all the way back up to 49%. Hunter's picks brought us up 3%. Fantastic. Again, we're now at 49% on the season. We got to get above 50, guys. We have to get above 50. Next week, I know last week I said it was a surprise. This week, double surprise. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. But this week, coach, head coach, manager, CEO, whatever, of the Washington Wise Guys, Pat Phoenix, made the picks this week. I can't even say that name without laughing. Pat Phoenix, he had a lot of hot takes, but he had a lot of cold beers too, so you can't really hate on him for all these fucking picks. But he picked the Smeagol's over the Moondogs. Not that hard of a pick. He picked the Tiger Sharks over the Bunny Bangers. Again, not that hard of a pick. He picked the Heaters over the Dumpster Fire, which is, I would say, a little bit of an upset, but I didn't put the upset game of the week next to it, but it is a rivalry game. He picked his own Wise Guys over the Titans Elite. He said you can't go against yourself. So we got an upset of the week in a rivalry game. Wise Guys over the Titans Elite. Holy shit if that happens. The ripple effect. Actually, not much. Not much will happen if that happens. But still, we'll know about it. Rivalry game of the week. He's got the Quailmen over the Trolls, which is, again, a little bit of an upset. But again, Quailmen are at the top of the Central, so not much there. And he's got the Voyagers over the Finesse in the game of the week, which, again, record-wise, would be an upset. But both teams are, they're neck and neck as of now, still. So, yeah, I think these are some good picks. It's going to be hard to beat Hunter now, who's 5-1. But if anyone can go 6-0, we'll be over 500, 100%, which would be great. Let's get on to golf. Woo. Big week in golf. Big week. I'm still at the top. I did nothing last week. Had no bogeys, no birdies. I just chilled. 16 under par. E-Man shot a birdie to bring him up to 13 under par. But the play of the week had to be P-Man shooting 4 birdies. Quad birdie. from P-Man to get him up to 10 under par and only 6 strokes off the lead. That was huge last week. Matt still at 7 under. Not still. He had a birdie, I think, last week, but no, he did nothing. Sorry. Matt's still at 7 under. Joe at 3 under. Graydon at 2 under. Dan's back up to even. Mandy and Nate are tied at 8 with 1 over. Hunter's at 3 over. Tebow's at 8 over. But we have a new shit king. It is Rico. Double digit points over par. He is 10 over par. Had a terrible week last week. He shot a double bogey. Another player of the week, another honorable mention would be Dan. He shot a quad birdie to bring him from 4 over to even. So fantastic week there. Mandy shot a triple bogey. Graydon shot a double bogey. But P-Man had the player of the week, quad birdie, to bring him within shouting distance of the lead and that goal line Stein. As of now, it's really looking like a 3-horse race. Matt still has a chance, but it's really looking like it's either me, E-Man, or P-Man to get that goal line Stein. Who's going to get it? I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks. But that's about it, guys. Oh, and Nate, you're fucking eliminated. There you go. Thought you guys might like that. All Packer fans, we're all the same, right? I mean, look at them. That's gotta taste great, you know? Jesus. Is the stadium made of cheese? I don't know. Whatever. I'm out of here, guys. Good luck.